And I was always impressed by their character. And I couldn't wait to get to Sterling. So I came to Sterling in September of 1959.
As long as I can remember, Sterling.
Hi, my name is Dot Russell. I'm the president of the Sterling Neighborhood Association. I want to welcome you to my neighborhood. I want to welcome you to my home. I want to welcome you to my life. The Sterling neighborhood has such a rich history and legacy that I want you to tap into as you listen to my neighbors, my friends that have had a opportunity to get to know Sterling. You will find not only will you learn something new or find out something exciting about our history, or even bring back memories to the legacy that you know. On top of all of that, you will see the aspirations, the excitement that we have about our future and what it entails and how we expect our expectations of Greenville at large and our role in that, where we will be. You will see all of this. You will hear all of this. As you listen, I ask that you not only listen with your ears, but you listen with your heart. I ask you to open your minds and just visualize what you are hearing from my neighbors and my friends, so you will have the same experiences. I thank you. I appreciate each person that has had a part to play in bringing these stories to light. I thank you because you have given us an opportunity to relive, to revitalize our memories, to bring them forth and to put life back into what we know, back into our foundation. I thank you for your help. I thank you for your support. And most of all, I thank you for your time of just listening to the stories of Sterling. And I thank you for what it will invoke in you and the actions that you will take after you hear of Sterling stories. Thanks again and welcome. Reared in the Sterling community is really the foundation of who I am and how it got me to where I am as far as a leader. I actually now reside in the same house that my parents built the year I was born. And there in that family, I had a sister and 4 brothers. My father was a pastor at a church here in the neighborhood, and my mother worked at the hospital. So my family had a large stake in this community about being the pillows of the community, and their thing was always about loving and sharing with others, and as well as educating others.
My name is Greta Jones. I actually grew up on Valentine Street, which is maybe a block or so down the street. I lived in this neighborhood until I had my own children. I played at the gym up here. I had many great times with so many people. The swimming pool, I actually took swim lessons.
Hello, my name is Tony Pepper. My memories of Sterling. I can remember back in the early 70s, we lived about a half mile from here off of Markley Street. And me and my brothers, we used to walk over to Sterling because Sterling was one of the only recreations facilities that had a swimming pool. So we used to walk over and we used to swim about every other day. And as I got older, around 1978, 77, I played basketball in the Greenville City Rec, which was, we used to play here at Sterling Gym for many, many years. I think I was in that league for probably about 10 years, till my knees got bad. But Sterling does have a lot of good memories here.
Hi, my name is Shanika Brown. When I grew up in Sterling, my name was Shanika Pruitt. I grew up on 17 Valentine Street, just down the street here. We do still have the home and the family, which we love. But growing up in Sterling was the best thing for me. I love the neighborhood. I love being able to, when it was time to be able to come up to the gym during the summer and have the summer camps. We did a lot of things in the summer camp. We did pottery, we went swimming, we went to Paris Mountain. It was just, an overall good feel to grow up here, and everyone was like family.
I remember all the people that lived in this neighborhood. Most of them were school teachers and professors. So, well, no excuse for you not to get an education because you had plenty of help. On Jenkins Street, we had the Wash Red, Mr. Shocky's. We also had Miss Alice Cafe. Miss Alice had the best fried chicken in the world. We had a lot of churches over here, so it wasn't no excuse for you not to go to church either, because there was Macedonia, that was Miners Chapel, that was St. James, that was the House of Prayer. So it was always somewhere for you to go in this community.
I have been blessed to be able to give back to the community by being able to have a properly clean and safe place for my tenants. And one of my long tenants been with me now about 9 years, right in the same community. I try to stay very active within the what's going on with the neighborhood association. I'm a member of the Sterling Land Trust. But yeah, Sterling is just home. It's just home and always will be home. Like I say, even though that building burned down, Sterling, it didn't burn, and Sterling would never die because it's in our heart.
I, of course, grew up here, right down the street on Valentine Street, right down the street from the Sterling football field. So plenty of memories of going there and playing football, flag football. Probably a lot of people have shared their pool stories with Sterling Pool, which was right outside here. But I do remember just the community always being there for you. So when they say it takes a village to raise a family, this is truly a village.
In the summertime, when school was out, this is where lots of the kids in the neighborhood, we came here here at Roscoe P. Sadler Gymnasium. We called it the gym. That was the term of endearment we used for this place. We came here, we did a lot of things. We had summer activities, we did arts, crafts, we went on field trips. We shot pool, played basketball, played tetherball, wrestled. We used to have wrestling matches. A lot of my cousins and other friends, they had belts that they won because they were the best. I didn't particularly participate in that. I wasn't the king of the mountain, they were. So I was running around here with all my cousins, my cousin Tara and Travis and Choo Choo and Tamika and others I know I'm forgetting. I hope they don't jump on me, So we spent a lot of time here. You see summer basketball camps that were held here. Lots of people that helped mold us, that taught us the value of community, that taught us, how to take pride in what you're doing and also accountability. I had some poor choices I made in here. I had a couple fist fights, I had a couple shouting matches. And if you did violate those, you were sent home. And by the time you got home, your relatives already knew about that. So we got disciplined here. We got disciplined when we got there. That's a sense of community because we represent this area. We wanted to represent it well. So we spent a lot of time. You know, we got free lunches here. You know, a lot of people came here because, you know, they needed a meal during the middle of the day, and we all got it. So you'll hear jokes about, hey, I don't eat this sandwich, I don't like that sandwich, when in all actuality, you were happy to eat. You know, so that was a lot of pride, that another prideful thing that we had in this area.
Good morning, my name is James Garrison. Most people know me by the name of Monroe. My affiliation with this community center began back in 1980. After I had graduated from college, I was hired on by the Recreation District as an assistant center director under the Roscoe Sattler, who was the center director at that particular time. I was able to had the pleasure of working with Roscoe Sattler for 3 years before his sickness took place. He got ill and he died of cancer. And Roscoe was like another father to me. He often told me that I was like the son that he never had. Of course, he had 2 daughters. But anyway, I became the center director here in 1983. And I stayed here until 2007 as the center director. And some of the best days of my life were spent right here in this community.
My name is Paulette Brooks. I am the center manager for the Sterling Community Center. And I didn't start off as the manager of the Sterling Community Center. In 2011, I was hired as a part-time summer counselor. And little did I know then the impact that Sterling would have on me coming in to this facility. I didn't know the rich history of the Sterling Community Center, but as I stayed and became the manager, and seeing people come in and talk about the love of the Sterling Center, not just the center, but when it was a high school, the love of the area, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And since becoming the manager, my job here is to facilitate others and to expand the vision that was already here prior to me getting here. But if we can be a beacon of light to let them know that we embrace them regardless of their background and what they have or don't have, that is what my hope and desire is. And to be able to be a hand up and not just a hand out. I want to help those who want to be helped, and those that don't, I want to be, I guess, a set of arms to embrace them.
My name is Mac Mertens, and my big connection to Sterling is I built a community garden at the Sterling Hope Center for my Eagle Scout project. And I originally had no intention really of doing this garden because I had something planned and everything for the summer of 2020. And ultimately, like many of our plans, that fell through. So there I was, needing a new project, and it just so happened that my father, just kind of on a whim, put me in contact with Miss Sylvia and said, this is someone who you might want to reach out to. I know she has helped a lot of people. Her son's an Eagle Scout, and I'm sure she can give you a few ideas. And I called her, I got her email from that, and we started talking. And I found out that the garden at the Hope Center had been overrun with weeds and a fallen tree, and it really needed refurbishing. So I got to work setting that up. And over the process of about 6 months, 5-6 months, it went from just a field full of weeds with a broken fence and a fallen tree to a whole new 30 by 45 foot garden with planter beds and mulch and a chain link fence. and something that I not only felt proud of myself, but something that I knew would be meaningful to the community, something that I knew wouldn't just have a plaque on it that says Eagle Scout by so-and-so, but something that I knew would be used and something that I knew would be more than just something to look at.
The neighborhood association, which is the things that I try to do to give back and be a part of. Sterling has a large legacy. It's not just a legacy of how people succeeded, it was just how they lived and what they wanted to see for Sterling. Sterling to me means hope.
Sylvia Vandross. I live in Sterling Community and also work at Sterling Community Center. I've been in the community for over 20 years. First thing I noticed about moving over here was that changes was happening. And I noticed that on Arlington Street, how the houses were being torn down and new ones was going up, and then over at on the gym side, how homes were being torn down, and you just didn't know what was beginning to happen. And we see now the gentrification of the community happening. As I appreciate the changes that are happening, but I would love to see the community center, of course, being a larger service to the community where we are providing more programming to the residents and having more of the residents being involved in the center, especially our teen community.
We want to make sure that they have a place where they can reside and enjoy and begin to teach the children that come behind them some of the values that we were taught. Values about being your best, having pride in your community.
And what I would like to see for the future is I know that things are changing and we need that change, but I don't want it to change so much that it loses the actual authentic Sterling, you know, the historical Sterling.
It's changing, but I still like it, you know. I hope the way we came up, the morals of coming up like that, I hope it's still here. And some of the people that are coming in now, because I don't know, but it's like 5 or 6 families that grew up here that are still here, you know, that I know.
I would like to see more low-income houses for older people like me, or either renovate the ones that are still up so people can live a decent life.
There was a sidewalk that was being built when I was 6 years old. It was being repaired. I remember when I was 8 asking my dad, when would they finish? He said, one day soon. That sidewalk still needs repairs. There's no need for that. There's no need for some of the things that we experience in this neighborhood. In 2021, there's no need to not have a grocery store nearby. There's no need not to have adequate transportation where my neighbors have to walk so far just to catch the bus, or certain days they can't work because the bus is not running and this kind of thing. There's no need for that. We as Greenville, we are too progressive. We are too smart. We've got too much within us to have communities within our grasp that are still suffering when we have other communities that are very vibrant, and they're exploding.
But I've also seen builders and contractors and people come in and buy some of the black people out and replace them with big apartment buildings and things that they know we can't afford. And it's like disheartening. And now I have seen so much growth in the Sterling community, but most of the blacks have been forced to move out. And I keep getting offers myself to move, but I am determined I'm going to stay here until the end. And hopefully a little bit of us will be able to hold on to the Sterling we knew. When I first heard about the neighborhood association, and I was told that before any growth happened, any changes happened in the community, that it would be brought before the neighborhood association. But things start, I guess, happening so fast that they neglected to let us know what was going on. And before we knew it, big buildings were being erected in the area, and people were being forced out of their homes because if they didn't have the money and stuff to improve their properties, they were being told that the city would condemn them. So they took whatever money was offered them and left.
I just, look around now, everything seems like, it's like grab this, grab that. They are basically taxing the black individuals who live in the Sterling community out. They are literally harassing some of us about purchasing our property. You can say, I'm not selling, but they still continually harass you about your property, and the taxes have truly gone sky high. So it is, we're praying and hoping that those of us who do still have property in Sterling will be able to maintain it. Beretta and I are trying to work together in even like helping folks with their taxes and purchasing some property, so we as members of the Sterling community can continue to maintain a legacy in this community.
A lot of revitalization going on, I've noticed, but not to remove the people who were here years, but to be inclusive of those people and not just have a lot of regentrification where you build these mega homes in this community. Don't push the people away from what they know and from where they grew up, and people can come back and remember their families lived here, lived there.
Sterling now to be, regarded as a blight of Greenville County when it was actually a light of Greenville County, and now for that light to slowly be burning out because of now developers come in with big money and they behoove the people that are here into thinking that, hey, you can take this money, you can go somewhere else, when in fact there's nowhere else to go. So for my family, Sterling is always home. It's a place that we can come to. We know people here and we can stand out and talk to them for hours. It's just a place that when you leave home and you get something to eat, you always want to just go over and see what's happening in the neighborhood.
Now, one of my goals that I would like to see in this community is to increase homes for those that's qualified to be homeowners. And if they're not qualified, then I would like to see a program established that will enable them to be qualified so they can be homeowners. This is a great community with a lot of history behind it.
Some of the sadness, some of the disparity, it really breaks my heart because I know that we can do better. I know that we can have better. I know that we have more power than we think we have. And when I say we, I mean my entire community.
We often think about once we get involved, it has to be financially. There's so many needs in Sterling. Just getting involved in the neighborhood in and of itself. Sometimes we might have a cleanup day, or you just want to go and interact with some of the neighbors and let them know you haven't forgotten about them. At one point, Sterling was the first African American community that was developed in Greenville, and it was one of the richest African American communities that existed in Greenville. And we can't reconnect or rebuild what we had, but at least we could take advantage of this opportunity to try and make it better in today's date of 2022. Now I'd like to also provide you the email address. If you would like to learn a little bit more about the Sterling and the Sterling Land Trust, as well as the Neighborhood Association, you can go to the website, which is located at Sterling, and this is all lowercase, Sterling Land Trust GVL.com. And I'll repeat that, Sterling, all lowercase, Land Trust, one word, GVL.com. That will get you to our website. You can navigate around in the website and see all the different functionalities or areas or ways in which you can get involved and see what's going on in Sterling. Our next charge with the Land Trust is to build some more affordable housing. We see the need. We want to make sure people who would like to get involved and want to live in Sterling would have the opportunity to do so. And by building these smaller units that we plan to build, it will enable us to put more people into Sterling, maybe some grandmothers who are single, living alone, or veterans, or people with disabilities and would like to live in the proximity of downtown Greenville. These next complexes that we put in will enable us to do that. So again, on behalf of the Sterling Land Trust, I hope if you've enjoyed the video and you'd like to go back and watch it again, feel free to do so, but share it with your children, your grandchildren, and just let them know this is what Sterling means to a lot of people, even today. Sterling has been gone now since the mid-60s, but yet it's still deep in our hearts. The blue and white runs deep in our blood, is blue and white, and it runs deep in our souls. So for that reason, we continue to appeal to keep Sterling active and live in a lot of people's minds. So that being said, again, on behalf of the Land Trust, we thank you for your time, and we thank you for any contributions that you might make in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sterling High School, Sterling High School, Sterling High School, bless her name. Will we in defeat or victory, we'll lawyer just the same as we sing for Sterling High School.
Sterling High School, Sterling High School, bless her name, and in defeat of victory, bless her name.